You're watching eRacing GP Season 3, would you believe, of something that we started as a bit of fun during the lockdown, but it took on a momentum of its own, and we're now into Season 3, and we've got 4 classes of races. We've seen excellent racing in copper, bronze and silver, and now we come to the creme de la creme, the gold racers, and the man to beat is our Alif Hamilton, Alex Young. Who can stand up to the big Singaporean superstar?
Well, okay, so Alif Hamilton, he's won the first 2 editions of this championship, of this kind of racing. But now it's a bit different, isn't it? We've gone in single-seaters, we're on American tracks mostly, and we're in Indycars. And I tell you what, the Indycars are beasts to drive. They have loads of downforce, so much grip to the high-speed corners. You really have to drive it like a proper high-downforce car, like a Formula 1 car even. Except these guys have turbos, and big turbos. So out of the slow corners, you get so much wheel spin. I was trying to drive these cars just this week, and it was really difficult to keep the car in a straight line out of the slow corners. So they're a lot trickier to drive. Even starting them off the starts, I'm sure we'll see a couple guys in the wall. So it's going to be very tricky indeed, and let's see if Alif can adjust to it. Let's not forget the others. Nakib is here, a few of the others. Perwin is here as well. And, it all swings and about and roundabouts. And Alif may have won the last Global Edition, but don't forget, he was tied on points with Nakib. So it's really, really close.
Yeah, great point you make there. Although Alif Hamilton from Singapore is the champion, it was by the tightest of margins. It was by a count back on the number of races that he won. So every race really can count throughout the season, and we've got enough good guys. Nakib was a whisker away from becoming the champion. Josh Perwin, you mentioned. Miko Nassi, if he can get some consistency. Luis Moreno came good. Kalen Chin is in there as well. The Indonesians are represented by Fadli Rahmat today, and Tubagus Farhan, who can be quick. Alistair's in there as well. Sim Kai Wen has been a previous champion, and Mohammed Tasbi has got to wrest back the controls from Jinwas Vilton, who just won in the silver class. There's some familiar, very formidable racing names out there.
Yeah, and I mean, they will be out to beat Alif. It's really, really exciting to watch. I think we're going to see some really good racing, and I don't know what to expect, to be honest. So the IndyCars, they race at Road America all the time. We are at Road America, one of the best tracks in America. Arguably, this one and Laguna Seca are the best racetracks you'll ever race at in America. Road America, unlike Laguna, you can overtake. It's fast, it's sweeping. You see the cars driving through it now. So I think we're going to get some excellent racing, and of course strategy. Just like we saw in Silver Class, it's going to be deciding whether they one-stop or two-stop. I think the tyre wear is going to be higher in the IndyCars. Also, IndyCars have 2 compounds to choose from. You've got the Prime compound, which is the harder compound, and the Option. I know they call it something different, but I'm from the old school Formula 1 days. So Prime for the harder compound. Options would be the red sidewall tyres, which are softer. But I'm not sure they can make the softs do a one-stop. They might have to two-stop if you see any of the cars on the red sidewall tyres.
Format that we've got for you for this first round is you're mixing up the formats as well for the silver and gold class. It's a qualification, which you've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 points available, then a straight 40-minute race, which is a very different challenge. The gold guys have done this before, but it means that you can't really afford to have any kind of mistakes.
Yes, that's exactly right. You can't afford to have any DNFs, although you can drop points to one round. But Des, since we're watching the track now, why don't we take an onboard video? We got an onboard video, Miko Nassi. Let's have him talk us around the track.
Welcome to Road America. The track's located in Wisconsin, USA. Really close to Elkhart Lake. Track's been around since the 1950s or so, has a lot of history, lots of races. I don't really know anything about the history. Our lovely ERGP commentators can fill you in on that stuff. Alright, coming up to turn 1, super quick right-hander. Just breathe off the throttle and then back onto full. And another right-hander here. Get a little bit of the grass on the entry, on the apex, works fine. And it gives you a good run down the really long moraine sweep, apparently it's called. And then we'll start going downhill here. One of the very heavy braking zones. Look for the curb on the right to start your braking. And very patiently get the car inside. A little bit of wheel spin the exit. Blind left-hand corner here. I missed the apex a little bit there. Super tricky to get that right consistently. And then a 90-degree left here. Second gear again. And then the really fun, really fast carousel. And it's full throttle in these Indycars. Maybe not on the harder compound tires when you're following someone with the aero push. Through the flat out kink here. Of course, now I'm on the softer compound tires that hopefully everyone's going to be using qualifying around the 150 meter marker. Braking here for Canada corner. Careful on the exits, not run out of the track limits. And back to the final corner. Brake a little bit before the asphalt changes color there. Use all of the road on the exit. And back on the start finish straight. That's a lap of Road America. In the race room, Formula US, aka IndyCar. Thanks for watching.
Great job, Mikko Nassi. These are the 30 racers who registered for the race today. Mikko Nassi is the man who's just taken us around the circuit. Some really good names there. Tadashi is probably owing us a good season. Luis Moreno is the best of the Philippines. Alif we know all about. Plenty of good racers, likes of Inigo, Anton, Karen, by the way. Alex and I are blushing thanks to your comments. And young Kalen Chin, Owen Tarunia, is in that start list, Alex, but I can't see him out on the track at the moment. So we haven't got them all out there, but it's a very, very high-powered group. And Mio Mohammed Hafiz, there's a name that we all remember, those of us who were involved in e-racing at the very start.
All right.
Qualification has started. So then, the first round, Alex, the first round of any championship, it's always so important to get off to a good start.
Yes, and let's follow Mikko Nassi because he was quickest in the weekly leaderboard. When you saw the entry list just now, he was number one. That's because he was quickest in the leaderboard. So let's see if he can go for pole position. At the moment, well, he's using the grass on the exit there, but he's purple through sector 1. The IndyCars, they have been using more grass than the other categories. I think the downforce is able to keep them there and not lose time. But they have to be careful they don't do it too much because then they might damage the car. Through carousel now, easily flat there in an IndyCar. So easy flat through there. This is such a pleasure to drive around this track with this sort of car. Now, sector 2, let's see if this is purple. It is purple at the moment. He is the first car on track though. Let's see if he can keep it all the way to the end of this lap now. Through turn 12. Turn 12, we've seen lots of last minute dives in the previous races. Always a lot of incidents. Now coming up to the last corner here. Turn 14. Ooh. Grass, uses the grass in the exit. I think that was okay. Now, the most important corner because it gives you a good exit. Comes over to the right hand side a little bit because it's less inclined there. Over on the left it's a bit steeper. So that's good enough for pole position at the moment. 37.6 and he immediately restarts his lap. Let's see who else is out there. Let's see how Alif is doing. Alif coming out to the didn't have a good first sector, but he's purple in the second sector. This good enough for the front row, Des?
This is Alif. Oh, he's pulled out of it.
Oh, no, pole.
Okay. It is, of course, Josh Perwin. And then Alif drops down to P3 because Perwin and Kalen Chin have both gone quicker. Wow, this is
Kalen Chin on pole.
Oh, and then Alif goes wide there. How much can you really use of this circuit as he comes up over the start-finish line once again? He'll try and get another lap in here. Alif, do you want to stick with him?
Yeah, just a second. Wow, Mohamed Nakib on pole. Where did he squeeze that out of? We didn't expect that. But let's follow with Alif then. Yes, we'll follow his onboards as well, hopefully as well, because we'll watch him later on. But yes, you can use the grass. But we saw his sector 1 could have been better. It wasn't really that great. But let's see if we can find that sector 1 to be a bit better now. Okay, coming down, braking for turn 5. Yes, he's purple in sector 1. Purple in sector 1, but he's got to be good through sector 2 and 3. Look how focused he is on screen there. He's on the right there. He's always focused here. This is our championship winner from the past 2 editions. But his championship rival, the guy who finished tied on points in Global Edition 2, is on pole at the moment. But Alif from Singapore looking clean, looking calm and collected through the carousel. Easy flat in an IndyCar. It's just about getting it right through there. He's on the red wall tires These are the softer compound tires. As he comes to the end of Sector 2, let's see how he's going now. Oh, he's a 10th inside. This is good enough for pole position. Brake for turn 12. Oof. Oh, watch the track limits there, mate, on the exit. If you go over the track limits, you will get this lap time disqualified. But at the moment, good enough. Whoa, uses the grass on the apex and on the exit. Will this be good enough? He'll try and hold up a pole. Look at it. He likes it. He likes it. He does like that. He looks like he's happy with that. Pole position!
137.3. It's 0.1 of a second faster than Mohammed Nakib. The two big rivals are going at it toe-to-toe once again.
Let's see if Nakib, has he got enough time to finish his lap? Yes, I think he has. Okay, so Sector 1. We're not seeing in Sector 1, unfortunately. But this is the man that might be able to pip Alif. Whoa, he uses so much grass. All the drivers using loads of grass. Being very liberal here. Now coming down through these next few corners. He's looking nice and neat. He's looking determined, is Muhammad Alif. But wow, he's got the pressure on right now. I wonder if he's listening to the stream as he goes through the long carousel. Easy flat, like I mentioned in the NASCAR. 275, 280 kilometers through that carousel. That's how fast they're going. These cars have got more drag than a Formula 1 car though, so they don't easily get to 300 kilometers per hour like you would in a Formula 1 car. But I tell you what, they got a lot of grip, a lot of downforce. Whoa, he's really pushing. Oh, he didn't make it.
Pulled out.
He made a mistake. He was actually up, but then he made a mistake. I think he got a track limits warning, so he won't have pole position. Let's see if anyone else can pip them to pole position. There's still a few seconds left in qualifying.
At the moment, though, it's the big two. Alif and Nakib, 1 and 2. Nasi and Kalen Chin on the second row. Perwin and Jason Tay on the third row. The Philippines, Moreno and Anton, they know they've got work to do. Ayman Akim, Tadashi and Fadli Rahmat, the best of the Indonesians on P5. Yevon David and Christian Ho, a new boy at the gold level on the sixth row. Tubagas and Brody Steen on row 7. So, the big boys are there to be shot down, but the big boys are there for a reason. And they are 1 and 2 and on the front row of the grid. eRacing GP Gold Edition. This is what it's all about, Alex.
I tell you what, it was so close. We saw the names that kept changing. But in the end, still, those two fellas again, wasn't it? Alif and Muhammad Nakib are on the front row. Okay, so the race is going to be exciting. Trust me, the start's going to be exciting. A lot of these drivers have not done any starts in the Indycars, and you get so much wheel spin once the turbo spools off, and it's definitely going to catch out some drivers off the start. So I really don't know how this first lap is going to play out.
40-minute race. We are all just about set. It'll be Alif Hamilton and Mohammed Nakib on the front row of the grid. What we're going to do is we're going to start with Kalen Chin, who's on row number 2, the second of row number 2. We are underway. What a start from Nasi. Nasi and Kalen Chin have both gone past Nakib. Hamilton is the man who leads. Kalen Chin's got himself up into P2. But Alif Hamilton, Kalen Chin, Nasi and Nakib in P4. And they've all got through the first corner quite well. But Mohammed Alif Hamilton off to a stunning start.
Really good start by the Singaporean. Looking good there. Nakib with the dreadful turn 3 as well. So he's getting swallowed by the pack. Whoa, Kalen Chin looks to the inside. Oh, there's contact between the two of them. Ah! And they almost spin. Somehow they managed to get through. But Kalen Chin is going to take that position. I thought Nasi was going to take both of them for a second there.
Well, there's Kalen Chin on the right of your screen. He just can't get inside Alif Hamilton. Alif is leading. We're on board with Miko Nasi on the left-hand screen. But so much contact early on. But as with all things, there's a lot of contact, a lot of rivalry, and Alif comes out on top.
Yes, he always does seem to do that. I tell you what, that run will end one of these days. Okay, so let's look at tires now. Let's see if we can look at some of the tires. Looks like definitely Alif is on the harder compound tire, where some of the others, I think they're all on the harder compound tires. Also, if you look down on the bottom left, there is a push to pass. If you press the push to pass, you get extra horsepower, and they use that for overtaking. You get 10 10 push-to-passes, which does get renewed every time you change tyres, to use during the race. And they often use that to overtake or trying to defend from well, they use it in racing situations, obviously.
Chabagas Farhan, we're just with him. He's the tail end of the leading group. There's barely quarter of a second, half a second between 1 right the way down to 11. I mean, between each racer. Mohammed Tasbi is trying to work hard. There is Chabagas. But he's losing a little bit of time on Mohammed Tasbi, and Inigo Anton in front of them works really hard. They are going off the track limits quite a lot, Alex, and it's clearly a deliberate tactic from the guys.
Yeah, we can't track the track limits unless we look at each corner and each lap, and we just don't have the manpower for that. So what we do is we let the AI decide about track limits and watch out the incident points. So if the drivers are able to do it and the AI is allowing him on some of the corners, then it's up to the drivers to take advantage of that.
Well, Miko Nassi is the man who's currently got himself up into P2. He had a really good start. He went one side, Kalen Chin went the other side of Mohammed Nakib, and Nakib is struggling down in P5 at the moment. He's got Luis Moreno very, very close. There is well, he's had a haircut as Nakib ever since the lockdown ended, and a little bit of contact between Luis Moreno, and he's not looking comfortable, Nakib.
No, he's pressing the push to pass, so he's getting some extra horsepower. But yeah, he's struggling a lot with the car there. I think they're getting tapped a bit by Moreno there, quite a bit. Have to watch out that argy-bargy there going between the two of them. Oh, but again, he's having some corrections there. I wonder if he's having issues with his rig, because it looks like he's really struggling to get that car turned. And yeah, it's kind of weird the way it's just not waving. I think he's got damage on that car. He must have damage on that car, because he's struggling to keep it in a straight line at the moment.
Outside of him, Luis Moreno has a little look around the outside, but Nakib's good enough to defend. Up at the front, though, Muhammad Alif Hamilton and Miko Nassi pulling away from Josh Purwin. Purwin in the light brown in P3, the best of the Aussies. He and Kalen Chin are there. But Nassi and Alif are the two leaders, both based out of Singapore. One a Finn, one a Singaporean. It's the Singaporean who's leading the way. Yeah,
so these are the two experienced campaigners. Really, in this field, these are probably the two most experienced drivers for what I've been seeing so far. Miko Nassi is a real-life driver turned sim racer. Alif is a sim racer who's trying to get into the real-life driving. And they're both very experienced in their respective fields. We've seen Miko Nassi win ERGP rounds before the finals. He's won the finals with some really interesting strategies, able to use his experience very well. I actually fancy Miko Nassi here right now. I saw him in practice yesterday, and he looked very quick indeed.
Well, he is pretty quick at the moment, but not as quick as the race leader, although the best lap of 1:39.1 has come from Miko Nassi. Alif Hamilton, though, got off to such a solid start. A little bit further down, let's have a look at Mohammed Nakib. He must surely have pitted, because he's down in 20th place, Alex, and he's lost a nose cone.
Yeah, I could see he's had suspension damage. That's why he was struggling to keep the car straight. So I think that's him out of the race. I hope he continues, though, because this would be good experience for him just to finish the race. Get in there, do a pit stop, fix the damage, and just try and finish the race. Look, there are a couple cars scrabbling in the back with damage. Yeah, it's a shame for Nakib. Straight away, he's having a bad round here.
Let's have a look. Tadashi is also another one who's struggling. He's back in 24th place at the moment. Jason Tay is in the pits, but that looks like Jason Tay is out of the race. Mohammed Tasbi is another who is in the pits as well. What is going on? They're surely not pitting this early. That cannot be the case.
No, they're obviously having traction. They're fixing their cars and stuff. Obviously, too much contact in those first few laps, so they're just repairing the cars. But they'll be out on track soon.
So there was Mohammed Tasbi. Let's look. Alistair Young has got himself up into P12. He was commentating earlier on. He's got Mika Hakimi and Fadli Rakhmat for company, although Mika's just lost a couple of quick places. And Sutin Chin is also in there from Taiwan, as is Sim K1 from Malaysia. Russell Reyes is a debutant at this A level. But let's go back up to the front. I always like to see who the other racers are, but they're nearly always trailing this man, Muhammad Alif Hamilton.
Yeah, but he's got some proper competition right now. Miko Nasi's not going to let him get away, and he's close enough for the slipstream. So Miko, he's a very crafty driver. If it was someone else, I pretty much know what they're going to do. They're just going to try and attack Alif. But Miko will have the end game in mind right now. And if I think he'll be just monitoring Alif. He'll be stalking him. He'll be going, okay, let's see if I can just stay right here, look after the tyre wear. Let's see what Alif does. Maybe Miko's thinking he can go and lap longer, or he'll do the reverse of that, which is he'll try and attack Alif and go for the early pit stop. These cars can do one pit stop. They don't need to do two if they look after the tyres. Oh, and look at that. Nasi's really in the slipstream. But no, he's been a little bit circumspect at the moment, Miko Nasi, and I'm not surprised. He'll be very craftily thinking about this, and I think Alif, he has a really good reason to be worried right at the moment.
If you remember back to the very first race, the first time we had the eRacing GP, Nasi had a really extraordinary pit stop strategy that won him the race. He was the first ever winner in ERGP. That was the global edition, but Alif Hamilton won the title. A little bit further down, Kalen Chin's got himself up into P2 ahead of Josh Purwin. That happened very neatly, and Kalen is another who will keep an eye out. Very, very capable racer, but he's 2 seconds adrift of the top two.
Yeah, Josh there from Australian fourth as well. Both of these cars, Kalen almost won his first race at the last ERGP, but had a 5-second penalty for contact with, funnily enough, Miko Nasi. So these two cars, cars in third and fourth position, they're the nearly men for the last few rounds in the previous global edition, and they'll be gagging to see if they can try and get back up into the first or second position.
We're on to lap 6 of the circuit. Let's have a look at the individual battle of the Philippines. No, let's go with Kalen Chin again. So Kalen is looking relatively composed ahead of Josh Purwin. I suppose he knows he's got a long time. He knows that he just needs to make as few mistakes as possible.
And just if you look at the bottom right of the screen of Kalen's screen, you can see the tyre wear. That front left is the one that's going. And it's not looking so bad. It's a bit yellow in the front left, but he's still got plenty of tyre at the moment. So, he needs to get to at least the 20-minute mark before he pits, though.
We are at the 30-minute mark in P5 and 6. Luis Moreno and Inigo Anton. They really do have a scrap with each other very often. And Moreno is in P5. Anton is in P6. Moreno invariably gets the better of it, but Anton has improved race by race throughout the 2 seasons so far. Yevon David has got supporters as well. Sorry, are we on board with Luis Moreno there?
No, that's Inigo Anton.
That's Inigo Anton. Hello, Inigo. How are you? Don't wave.
Yeah, don't wave. It's the first time we're seeing you, but good to see you doing it. P6, as usual, always fighting with your teammate Moreno, who's just up the road from you.
A couple of rigs there. There's a few bob being spent in that household. Yevon David has got a fan on Facebook. Yevon David is Ruvi Ranasinghe is saying, go Yevon, go. Currently, Yevon is in P7, just ahead of Tobago's Farhan, Darrell Brady and Jaden Lowe. Alistair Young up in P11, Brody Steen in 12. Let's go back up to the front. Alif Hamilton is there again. Sorry to the directors, I keep chasing about. My apologies.
But yeah, right at the front, we did see just now, like you said, Yevon David. He's the eldest brothers of the David brothers. He's really come on strong. He's been very, very quick in practice. But he's a bit further down. I think he would have really, thought, have been fighting for pole position, but he's in P7 at the moment. But like you said, back at the front, Alif just in the front, holding the gap, and with Miko Nasi just monitoring him at the moment in second place, stalking him. Oh, I tell you, it's going to get very, very tasty in about 8 minutes from now, because that is the time where I expect Miko Nasi to either, because he likes doing the reverse strategy. Everyone's going to try and pit at 20 minutes, but Miko Nasi who either pit early or pit late. And I got a feeling he might try and pit early to try and do the undercut on the fresher tyres to overtake Alif, who's just in front of him.
Terrific circuit, and we're not seeing many mistakes. Most of the top drivers are using the full limits of the track, in fact certainly going over them. Nasi consistently quick lap times, a 1:39.331 his last lap. He's the quickest at 1:39.159. He's regularly in the mid 1:39s, as is Alif Hamilton. So very few errors being made by these front two. It's a very high standard.
Yeah, very high standard indeed. Ali there through turns 13, now turn 14, the last corner on the track. Yeah, you see, Mikko's he's staying there, but he's not going to get, I think he's just happy to stay there for now. And maybe in a couple laps time, then we'll see him get a little bit feisty.
P3, still Caelan Chin, but Josh Purwin has got a little bit closer on the side of Caelan Chin. And Purwin might make a move, you suspect. As they come down the hill, Caelan's able to hold on.
Oh, yeah, definitely got close enough. Turn 1's not really an overtaking position because you don't even brake for that corner. You just lift in 6th gear and then get straight back on it. Oh, Josh had a small moment there trying to get out of turn 3. This corner, though, the next corner is normally the place where you can overtake. There's Josh on Squin from Perth, Australia, but he's just not close enough to send it down the inside. Is braking late, though, is trying to get closer to Caelan. I think Josh does want that 3rd position before the pit stops.
He's very consistent in his racing as Josh Purwin. He was in the top 5 in the overall championship last season. Got himself into some very, very good positions, but never seemed able to capitalise on them and make them into victories. But he's looking composed enough there. Nice little rig setup he's got sorted. The slats mean it's nice and dark, nice relaxed atmosphere. Yeah. But he's 0.8 of a second down on Caelan Chin. Yeah,
and more importantly, he's got no more push to passes. If you look at his thing there, his PTP is 0. So he's used all his push to passes. He will get another selection. So's Caelan Chin, by the way. Caelan has no more push to passes either. But they will get 10 more when they change tyres.
Right, let's have a look. Alif still leading. And increasing the lead.
Look, they saved his push to passes. He's using his push to pass now. He doesn't want to be vulnerable to the undercut, so he's using the push to pass to try and get the gap to Mikko Nasi before the pit stops. I want to ride on with Mikko Nasi now and see how many push to passes he has. He's only got 3. So Mikko has to try and push right now because he needs to stay close to the pit stops to try and get a good run on Alif. The question is, look, he's using the push to pass now. He's pressing it out of this corner. I think they're thinking about pit stops. I think they're both thinking about pit stops for this next race. There's no reason to be using the push to passes now unless you're thinking about a pit stop. I think both of them are going to come in on this next lap.
Fascinating. Well, he has no more left. He used 3 there just to try to stay close. How about Alif? He's got 1 remaining.
Mikko, that's not a good place to use the push to pass. Push to passes should be used out of this corner. Because if you use it out of this corner, you're full throttle for so much longer. See, Alif's using his last one now. Because you're flat through a carousel. You're flat through turn 10, through turn 11. So it's a long time. It's really good to use the push to pass out of there. Alif's used it perfectly and he's extending his gap. Both these cars, I feel, coming to this pit in this next lap.
Great race time. Speed limit is 250, 260.
Let's see. Now we go through the last corner. Let's see what happens.
Easy.
Oh, he stays out. They
Oh.
both stay out. I got that wrong. Wow. I thought they were going to use it on the in lap and just go straight in. But no, I think maybe try to go for fastest lap or something. So they stay out for another lap. How interesting. Mikko Nasi, though, 0.8 behind. Not really close enough to get a proper slipstream, but he will get the benefit of a little bit less drag because the air in front of him will be moved. And that will help him close the gap ever so slightly.
A little bit further down, Caelan Chin and Josh Purwin are still having a battle. Josh deciding to see the scenery of Wisconsin. It's a beautiful state, but don't want to be doing it in the middle of the race. We are 24 minutes in. Or 24 minutes to go, 16 minutes in, around about now. They'll be thinking of pit stops, and then it's how well they execute them. A little bit further down, you've got Luis Moreno in P5, still holding off Inigo Anton. In fact, more than holding off Inigo, he is extending his lead over his Filipino compatriot. Yevon David has lost a place. He's down in P8 in the green livery because Tubagus Farhan, another in the brown, has managed to pull up. And Alistair Young, your boy, I know you don't like talking too much about him, but he's got himself up into P12 and is right on the tail there of Brody Steen, Alex.
Yeah, he's doing a good job. I know he's not had the practice he wanted to, although that car looks like it's going sideways a bit. Probably just a bit of lag. But yeah, good job. He didn't qualify too well. I think he qualified towards, I think, position 19 or 20. But he's done a good job to get up to P12. Brody Steen, though, right in his sights.
Yeah, Brody Steen currently in P11. Now then, let's go back to see. No, there's no more pitting again. I thought this time Alif or Miko might decide a pit. Kalen and Josh Perwin may well decide they want to.
Tell you what,
Nassi.
Miko's looking quicker. I tell you what's happened. I think Alif used all those push passes to try and break the slipstream, but he wasn't able to do it. So now Miko's got the slipstream. He's going to have a go. 22 minutes left in this race to go. He's got the slipstream. But no, he's not. He's just sitting there. He doesn't want to take the lead. He definitely had a good slipstream out of turn 3. So it's his own decision to not to take the lead. He's hunting Alif down. He's putting Alif under pressure, but he's not showing his hand yet.
Well, we saw in Season 2 when the DRS was available that drivers would deliberately try to avoid not to be in the lead on the last lap. This is a very different circumstance.
Yeah, the slipstream is good. On this track, slipstream is quite strong, but it's nowhere near as strong as the DRS. I think it's intentional. I don't think Miko wants to lead at the moment. I think he's planning his time. Maybe the next lap is the lap that he'll do it.
Well, that's how close he is. It was over a second, the differential, a lap ago. As you quite rightly say, he's been able to pull it. A little bit of a back wiggle there just to illustrate the power of these Indycars. Single-seater Indycars for the first time for these racers, and it was a popular choice. No going into the pits this time either. So it's going to be into the second half of the race before either Alif or Miko make that pit stop, Alex Young.
Yeah, look, and I don't think Miko planned to be that far back. I think Alif just had a really good third sector on the previous lap, and he's pulled a small gap as they're coming out some back markers now. That might be Jason Tay. Jason Tay had some damage on the first few laps, so he's running at the back right now. But now Miko, no, not really close enough to try and move to the next corner, but it's fascinating stuff seeing what they're planning to do.
Certainly is. Right then, it's Melvin Moe might well be the man who has to make way. Yeah, there is Melvin. He is the back marker. Tell you what, if Melvin Moe is being lapped within 20 minutes of this, the front guys are seriously good drivers.
Yeah, I think he had some damage. One of those cars had damage as well. Some of the cars, I think, I've seen a couple of cars go to the pit stops as well. So it is a pit stop window. This is the time of the race that they'll be thinking about it. Melvin is actually a teammate with Alif, so I'm sure he'll get out of the way now. Hopefully he'll get out of the way of both cars.
Well,
yes,
exactly.
Well done, mate. Well done, mate. Wow. Nassi's got a really strong slipstream here. Is he going to dive down the inside? No, Alif's covering the inside at the moment.
Tries to go around the outside, but Hamilton is as good as his namesake. There is no way past him. It's almost like his car expands as somebody tries to make the move because he times his defensive maneuver superbly. They both go into the pits.
Wow, both at 20 minutes to go. So they're both sticking to the traditional pit stop. I was kind of surprised. Nassi, like I said, likes to take the alternative strategy. He isn't, and he just followed the team leader in, the leader in, Muhammad Alif.
Well, in the meantime, that means that Kalen Chin, who's also come in, as has Josh Perwin, as has Luis Moreno, as has Inigo Anton, as has Yevon David, means Brody Steen's the race leader.
Wow, Brody Steen.
No, he's gone in. And Alistair's gone in.
Wow.
And Sim K1 decides to go in. And Russell Reyes goes in. And Jaden Lowe goes in.
Wow, everyone is being super conservative in this first race in IndyCars and going for the exact same strategy. I would have expected quite a few people to try something different. Oh, Mika Hakkinen, new to race room. He's very quick on R Factor 2. He's lost his nose. He's got to try and get back to the pits. He's obviously had contact with someone.
Look at this after the pit lane, Alex. Miko Nassi has come out in front.
Whoa, we missed that. What did Miko do? He must have just got on the power earlier out of the pit lane or something, but he's now in front. He's now the new race leader.
Wow. I do apologize. I'm in charge of race direction. I had no idea that Hamilton would make a mistake, because we've not seen it in 2 seasons so far.
Oh, he does. He rarely makes them. But that's it. Mikko Nassi's in front. But, you know, the slipstream is so strong. I don't think Mikko's going to be able to get away from Alif. They're just going to be following each other. It's going to become a strategic battle. Even though we don't have DRS, it just does seem to play out that way.
Hamilton in the blue and yellow. Nassi is being stalked. A back marker might complicate matters as they come through this fastest part of the course. Oh, what defensive work from Nassi. Timed that to perfection. Hamilton won't like that. He was definitely blocked off. Brilliant racing. Brilliant racing.
Apologies as well. I thought the push-to-passes got renewed after the pit stop, but apparently not. Everyone's still on 0 push-to-passes at the moment. So it's just going to be a flat-out race to see who can win. And Mikko is just not even trying to defend. Lets Alif go down the inside to take the lead.
Why would that be?
Wow, it's still 20 minutes to go. And the slipstream is strong, so maybe Mikko wants to just follow his rival for now. Maybe he doesn't want to show his hand. Maybe he doesn't want to lead at the front and show Alif what he's doing differently. We're
on to lap 14. These two have been in virtually this position, apart from that 1/2 lap, for 13.5 of those laps. Mohammed Alif Hamilton leads from Mikko Nassi, Kalen Chin and Josh Perwin. They are still P3 and 4 respectively. Moreno and Anton 5 and 6 respectively. Steen is got himself up into P8. Kalen Chin has a little look over his shoulder. Tyres look good. Fuel looks good. Up the brow of the hill. This is a wicked left-hand corner. It can take you by surprise so easily.
Yeah, it can. Kalen Chin there doing a good job in 3rd position, but I bet he wish he was closer to the front too. Kalen and Josh just lost contact with the leaders, and they haven't been able to close it up. And now Perwin is losing a bit of contact with his fellow Australian Chin.
Well, just remember that some of the big names, the likes of Mohamed Nakib, Mohamed Tasbi, are both in the pits and out, as is Tadashi, as is Jason Tay, and Mika Hakimi's joined them as well. So there's quite a few casualties. Melvin Moe, I believe, is in the pits, so he's making his pit stop at the front though. And we always focus on the front. Alif, 16 minutes to go. Nassi still right there in very, very close proximity. This is going to the line.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Looking very good indeed. Yeah, it's going to go to the line. It's going to be tough to call. Both these competitors are very, very experienced. They know what they're doing. And as sometimes these things do happen, it might just turn into be one small mistake by someone that might hand the win to the other competitor.
Up the brow of the hill, into this wicked left. We've seen one mistake from Hamilton. That is it. Nassi still trailing. 16 out on. Son Idu is a brand new competitor for us. The Australian based. A little look for him, but he's a long way down. 80 seconds adrift of Jaden Lowe, so a bit of an education for him. Alistair Young and Sim Kwan are 2 young Malaysians who are battling out for P10 at the moment. Alistair in the white, Sim Kwan in the green behind him. Sim won a championship, if I recall. Yes, he did, didn't he, in season 1?
Yeah, he won the AM championship, didn't it? That's so funny how Alistair's car is crabbing sideways all the time when we come to see him. Maybe there's a small glitch with it, but for sure it's always crabbing every time we look at it. But it seems to be going okay, and the lap times seem to be alright.
Let's have a look up at the front once again. Nassi has closed in right to the back of Alif Hamilton. Now, is he going to make a move this time? The slipstream is strong. He goes on the outside. Alif defends and just defends just enough. This is very unlike Mikko Nassi, isn't it?
Well, they're being a bit cagey here. The tyres should be in relatively good shape towards the end of the race. We know they can do 20 minutes quite comfortably, but I wonder if Mikko is trying to think about maybe conserving tyres. You know, because he's looking around the inside, he's getting the slipstream, but then he's braking early. Every time you brake early like that in this game, you do conserve a bit of tyre wear. So maybe Miko's just trying to stay in the slipstream, conserve his tyres, stay in the slipstream, make Alif work his tyres harder. And maybe, because he's not 13 minutes to go, it's still quite a bit of long time to go. Maybe in the last 3-4 minutes, Miko Nasi will then put the hammer down, as opposed to Hamilton, and see if he can break a gap.
Certainly, Miko Nasi is the most cerebral of the competitors out there. You can always see him trying something new. Josh Perwin, meantime, has got himself ahead of Kalen Chin into P3.
Wow, what happened there?
Well, that happened just as we were watching as Alif and Miko were contesting P1. Kalen Chin just seemed to lose just a little bit of power.
Kalen must have made a mistake because he had a small gap to Perwin.
Perwin, these are 10 seconds adrift. That's not Alif Hamilton in front of them. So there's Kalen Chin. We're on board with Kalen. He's currently in P4. That's the gap that he's got ahead of him. And he can also see the back marker, who is Su Tin Su from Taiwan. Currently in 13th place.
You know what's interesting? Just watching Kalen just now. He's moving in the seat like you would in karts, and he is a karter. I didn't see him doing that in the DTM cars, but I think maybe these cars, because they're so much faster, he's starting to move around in the seat like he's in a go-kart. Interesting. Anyway, a little bit further back, let's look at Tobago's Fahan. He's all by himself at the moment. There's a visual of him. He's normally at the front end. Quite a few Indonesian drivers who are always at the front end. Not having good races today.
Well, Tobagas is the only one left on the circuit because Fadli Rahmat is out. And there were only 2 of them went in. We hope the Indonesians come back because they were aggressive and they made the championship very, very competitive. Let's see how your boy's doing. Alistair's in 10th place at the moment. He's just got a little bit of a gap there ahead of Sim K1.
Still crabbing. Car's still moving for some reason. I think something's wrong with that server.
But he's managing to hold on to it. Kalen is making a move here on Josh Perwin. Kalen on the inside. Josh Perwin defends. Almost a little bit of contact there. Goes a little bit wide, but Kalen is certainly looking to just try to get back here. Kalen Chin on the right of your screen. That's a slight replay, slight delay, I think. Yeah, that's the maneuver that he tried there as they sweep up at the end of the lap. Kalen has indeed got himself up into P3 and a very happy man.
Yeah, nicely done. Didn't panic. He knows he's happy with that. Look, he's smiling there. He's up to P3, but it's only for now. Look at that. Josh gets back at him, gets down the slipstream and takes the lead into turn 1. Wow, the slipstream is strong. Kalen doesn't even try to defend and just lets Josh through, as you can see on the replay on the right. But now, look at this. Through turn 3. Kalen's looking the outside. Oh, there's some more contact. And then that big run down. No, Kalen goes to the outside. Into turn 5. Oh, Josh runs wide. And Kalen goes through. Now let's watch it from Kalen's point of view on the right. Looks to the outside on the right-hand side. Then Josh runs a bit wide and Kalen is able to go through. And finally, that was half a lap of dicing. Finally, Kalen Chin is back through to P3.
That's a good little battle between those two Aussies. Up at the front, Alif is just suggesting he can pull a little bit of space over Miko Nasi. Still nearly 10 minutes to go. These two have not been apart, more than a second apart throughout this whole race, Alex Young.
Yeah.
But Alif is making a charge.
Oh, look at that. He's pulled out a small gap now. 7/10. That's a pretty big gap. We haven't seen that big a gap for quite a few laps now. Maybe Alif did have some time in his pocket still, and he's choosing to use it now.
Last lap for Alif, 1:39.5. Best lap, 1:38.2. He's such a consistent, impressive racer.
Yes, he is. Good laps, good laps. But Alif, he's still the man, and he's pulling the gap. It's a second now.
Yeah, it's not been more than a second before. It is now 1.2, 1.3, 1.4. Miko is going backwards. What's going on with Mikko Nassi? Let's get on board with Mikko if we can. Let's see, we're behind him. Alex, is this just Alif being brilliant, or has Mikko made a mistake?
I think it's just Alif having a bit more time in his pocket, and he's choosing to use it right now. Because I haven't seen any mistakes from Mikko. And if it was a mistake from Mikko, I would expect him to maybe close back that gap again. But at the moment, he's not.
He's going backwards.
Yeah, 1.4 seconds now. So unless he has an issue with his rig or something, I think Alif just had some more time in his pocket and he's choosing to use it now.
Lovely hum of the engine. He's got to go at full speed. He got up to 160, 170, back up to the 200 miles an hour, and the gap is getting bigger. It got up to 1.7 seconds, 1.743. Back down using the full extremities. Alif has just put in a monstrously quick lap. The lap time 1:39.3, 0.6 of a second quicker than Mikko Nassi.
Oh, Alif doing a great job here. The winner from the past 2 global editions, showing why he's so good, and just when he wants to, deciding to pull out the gap now. And at the moment, Mikko Nassi has no answer.
Tadashi tells us that his engine died. Gav Kintos says Russell Reyes, hope he's having a good race. And Russell is... where is Russell? He's doing all right, actually. He's in P9. Let's just break away just for a sec. Here is Russell. In P9 at the moment with 7 seconds to go. He's got Brody Steen a long way ahead of him. Simke Wern a long way behind him. So could well find himself in with a decent number of points here. Kalen Chin, meantime, in P3. Let's stick with the Philippines. And Luis Moreno is still the best of the Pinos as Melvin gets a drive-through penalty through speeding in the pit lane.
I don't think that's the first time either, is it?
No. He does know that rule, doesn't he? Yeah. Back up at the front, though. Alif. Oh, it's a big gap. It's 1.4 seconds. Maybe he was just toying. 35 minutes. Okay, Mikko, you're in the same class as me. For the last 5 minutes, nah, Mikko, you've still got something to learn.
Yeah, so Mikko's closed down the gap a bit. It did go up to as much as 1.7. It's now 1.1. But wow, he's got a hard job to try and close that gap back down again. But if he can, I tell you what, Alif's going to be going, oh, what do I have to do to break the gap? But yeah, let's see how this plays out.
In the meantime, Kalen is under pressure from Perwin. This one's going to go to the line as well as Perwin. They come down the hill. Perwin moves alongside young Kalen Ching. Kalen slams the door shut and Perwin has to just give way as Kalen had the right of way. But these two have been at each other's, been a good battle, a good fight, a good boxing match. Level on points going into the final couple of minutes.
Yeah, it is indeed. Yeah, and you know, it's quite interesting to see this battle because these guys have fought a lot for the title of Best Australian. But another good battle by these two guys.
Just to show you how good that Alif and Mikko are, they are 17 seconds clear of these two.
Different league. These guys have been in a different league today. So the other drivers are going to be thinking, wow, Mikko's done a good job. He's closed it back down to 8:10, yeah. So he is closed back down that gap.
Yeah.
But they're in a different league, and the other drivers are really going to have to raise their game if they're going to catch these two for the rest of the championship, for sure.
Disastrous day for Nakib.
Oh, Nakib, yeah, disastrous day. Bad turn one, bad start. Had some contact, and yeah, this is going to be a race weekend to forget for him.
So, Alif is in P1, Nassi 2, Chin 3, Perwin 4, Moreno 5, Anton 6, David 7, Steen 8. Not a lot has changed, but there's been plenty of little battles within battles.
Yeah. Let's look at that battle again for third position right now, between Perwin and Kalen. It's looking really good indeed.
Perwin once again. He tried this move on the previous lap. This time, is he able to get through? Kalen Chin's able to hold off Perwin. This time holds the inside line and Perwin is through. Pushes Kalen off the racing line, but that just seemed to propel Kalen onto a good speed, but Josh Perwin retakes P3, but will immediately find himself under pressure from Kalen Chin as he tries to go around the outside, and successfully so.
Wow, what a good move by Kalen Chin. We were just watching Josh, and he looked very focused on defending the inside, and Kalen just went, oh, nope, I'll go around the outside. I think Josh was just a bit too conservative, thought he had the position held because he's down the inside, and Kalen just mugged him nicely, really.
Up at the front, Nasi, you were saying he's done a good job. He's done a terrific job, Alex Young, because what was a 1.7 second deficit is now just 0.4.
Wow, really is good job. I thought Halif was home and dry. I thought he'd done all the hard work. But no, Mikko's able to come back at him. Whew, I wonder what the state of the tyres are right now. We should get the onboard shots next time so we can see the tyre wear as well. Alif unfortunately not streaming today, neither is Mikko Nasi, otherwise we could see the tyres. But yes, Alif looking very good there, but Mikko has definitely closed down that gap. That gap's nothing. 3/10. It's as close. Oh, if he gets a good exit out of here. He's close enough for a slipstream. He will get the pull of the slipstream as the air rushes in to fill the gap behind Alif and helps bring Nasi closer and closer to the yellow and blue Indycar. Mikko Nasi goes to the outside, not able to make it. They both get good exits out of that corner, and it's hold station for now.
Don't you just love the defensive work though of Alif Hamilton? We can rave all we want about how clean he is, but defensively there are few better drivers than him.
I have to agree. His racecraft has been very good. Very hard to pick anything wrong with what he does with the car. Very experienced driver. More importantly though, he's not just done laps and laps. He's been very particular about what he has learned, been very analytical. And that's pretty much why he's the best sim driver in the region.
Back-to-back champion of eRacing GP Season 1 and Season 2. Looking to get Season 3 off to a winning start. 1:26. There's this lap and one more to go. This isn't the last lap, is it? No. One more to go after this.
Yeah, one more lap after this. Keep your eyes on this battle. The battle for the lead, and of course then the battle for third position is also still hot. Okay, we can break away from this if you want, because Mikko's not close enough at this lap. No, not quite close enough into turn 1, but turn 3 is the key one. Okay, this kink here they call turn 2. Now this is turn 3 right now. This is the most important corner of the race for Mikko Nasi. He has to nail it just right. Oh, he's on the grass, but he's close enough. He's got the slipstream. He's got the slipstream, and he's close enough. He's closer than he was the lap before, but at least getting a bit of a slipstream from the car in front as well. Oh, they're on the rev limiter. Mikko Nasi's on the rev limiter, was not able to get past him because Alif was picking up. Oh wow, Alif was helped by the back marker in front, so they both got a tow and they both were on the rev limiter, but because they were both on the rev limiter, it prevented Mikko Nasi from making the move.
Nasi is running out of time. He's running out of road. He's been trailing Alif Hamilton for all bar half a lap of the whole of this 24 and a half laps so far. Alif Hamilton is champion for a reason. He is still holding sway. Last chance now for Nasi. Not close enough. 0.4 of a second behind. Can he get closer? Can he make a move? Will he make a desperate move? He just gets dragged away. Last chance coming up, Alex Young.
Yep, last corner of the track. Last corner of the lap, last corner of the race. Oh, not quite close enough.
It'll be Alif Hamilton, the defending champion, to take victory and maximum points ahead of a brave Nasi. Josh Perwin is holding off Kalen Chin for P3. We're seeing Alif Hamilton, his relief there. We're focusing at the moment though on this battle for P3, where Josh Perwin and Kalen Chin are going at a hammer and tongs. It'll be Perwin who takes it ahead of Kalen Chin. Josh Perwin for P3, Chin for P4. There he is. Wow, that shows how much it's taken out of him. A really good battle. A podium for Josh Perwin. Lewis Moreno will come in 5. Anton 6. Yevon David will finish in P7 ahead of Brody Steen. And Russell Reyes in P9, and Simke Wern will get 10th ahead of Alistair Young. But Muhammad Alif Hamilton, Alex Young, well, he just continues to raise that bar.
Yeah, he does. He does. We'll try and get him on Discord as well. I hope he's listening in. But yeah, wow, really good job by Alif. We'll get him on Vision actually. We'll get him on Zoom and see if we can talk to him there.
So, Alif Hamilton, the defending champion of the previous 2 series, takes the victory. Confirmed there. He also had the fastest lap, so it's a 27-point weekend. He was also on pole position, so that is a perfect 29-point weekend. Mikko Nassi once again doing his level best, but left trailing in the wake. Singapore 1, Finland, Singapore 2. Josh Perwin just edging off Kalen Chin for 3. Moreno ahead of Anton. Battle of Philippines for 4. Yevon David holding off Steen for P7 and 8. Ray's great debut for him, holding off Simke Wern for 9. Alistair Young, well done, holding off Su, the best of the Taiwanese, in P11. Jaden Lowe, Idu, well done on debut, completing the finishes.
All right, so we'll try and get Alif on the the dog and bone on the Zoom call. Alif, are you there?
Yep, I'm here. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. How cool technology works. I'm always surprised when technology works. What a great race, Alif. How was that for you?
Oh, amazing, man. It was a epic battle with Mikko. Yeah, it was just, I think, from lap 1, it was just me, Kalen, and Mikko just battling it out. And I think Kalen tried to move. And it was just, Indycars are just so nice to drive. So, yeah, just epic race for me.
Yeah, I mean, you and Mikko really had a good gap there. How was it going with Mikko? Did you have it covered, or was it really close?
I had him covered. I think the slipstream helped a lot. It just kept him within striking distance to me, but I was able to always eke out a gap in sector 2, which is the twisty parts. So I think that really kept me in P1, and then I just saved up my push to pass till the end. So yeah, that helped as well.
Oh, you had push to pass in the second half of the race? I thought you used it just for the pit stop.
No. I use like 5 before the pits and then 5 afterwards.
Okay,
just managed it. Yeah.
All right, we wasn't quite catching it on the graphics, but wow, well done, great job on that.
The one time that you were headed though was after the pit stop. What happened there? Because you went in the lead, you came out in second.
Yeah, I think the IndyCars, I think when you stop for the pits, it kind of it doesn't stop as well as like say the DTMs. So yeah, I overshot the pits a bit, lost like a second there, which got Mikko past me, and then I was able to get him back in the next lap.
Okay, well, fantastic, congratulations, great start to your title defense, really impressive, well done.
Thanks guys, thanks Alex for hosting it again. And see you guys in the next race.
Absolutely.
Congratulations. What a performance, what a performer, and so cool, calm and collected. But he admitted to making a mistake. The guy is human, Alex Young.
He is human. I have to say, him and Mikko really dominated that race. It's surprising that none of them could go with him. Kalen and Perwin, okay, they were fighting a bit. And it's not just about doing the lap time in qualifying, because in qualifying we saw how close everyone was. But you have to keep that pace as the tires go off, the fuel goes off, and adjust to it. And I think Alif and Mikko did that better than anyone else. So for a lot of drivers, it's going to be back to the drawing board to try and figure out how they're going to catch those two.
Mohammed Nakib had an absolute nightmare. He qualified well enough. He was on the front row of the grid, but he had a slow start and then disappeared. Picks up 0 points for the week. Well, not for the weekend. He picks up 4 points, but 0 points from the race.
Yeah, so hopefully this will be the race for him that he drops, and he has a good for the 5 remaining rounds, because don't forget you get to drop points from one of the 6 rounds, so he could use this round as that, but he's under pressure for sure.
Okay, so this has been the first weekend of Season 3 of eRacing GP. Seasons 1 and 2 were won by Mohammed Alif Hamilton from Singapore. We are hoping as a neutral that somebody will come and challenge him, but the big man is still slugging everybody else down. Victory for Hamilton once again. Not only victory, fastest in qualifying, fastest lap, a perfect 29-point weekend. He is the man to beat. Alex Young and Des Corkill signing off for the team from eRacing GP Gold Edition.